Guess where we at? Which one?
You have control. Yeah, there you go.
Right
Yep.
there. All right, so we're gonna bring on Mischief.
Hi.
What is going on, girl?
Not a whole lot. What is going on?
So, for people who don't know who you are, why don't you give us a rundown on who you are and where you come from and what you're doing?
I am from Nebraska, in the middle of nowhere. I'm a Han actress, a regular actress for horror films, FX artist, model. I kind of do a little bit of everything. Thank you, ADHD.
So let's start in the very, very beginning.
Sure.
How does Mischief come to life?
Well, I worked for Bellevue Berry Farms Haunted House with Ranch of Terror, not Woods of Terror, Ranch of Terror. And I played basically everything but a clown. And I said, no way, I'm not being a clown. That's dumb. And I kind of got forced to go up there. And I said, there was a girl up there. I said, what's your name? She said, Trouble. I said, okay. I pull out my phone and I said, other names for Trouble. Mischief came up and I said, Mischief's cute. We'll just run with that. So we kind of based our characters as Siamese twins or conjoined twins. She's the polar opposite of me. She's like this big around and brown hair. So it doesn't make sense at all. But we were conjoined by the big toe. And then, we kind of started going live on Facebook and it kind of went way bigger than expected.
It's normally how it goes.
Now, what about movies? Tell us about how you got into that.
That was also an accidental thing. I also do graphic design and I made a fake movie poster that said Clown Motel 2 coming soon. And it was a picture of myself and I tagged the director and the film page. And they saw it and they said, do you want a part? And I said, sure. Why? I was like, I didn't know you were making a second one. I was joking. They weren't joking. So,
Well, now you know.
What was that experience like?
it was hot. We filmed in Tonopah, Nevada in August. So it was 116. Yeah, we really tested the barrier spray. it all stayed on, thankfully, but it was very hot.
And then going into like today, now present day, what are you still at the haunted ranch? The spooky ranch?
Nope. I am a traveling haunter at the moment. So during October, I kind of go wherever calls me. As of right now, I'm booked for Woods of Terror in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then I'm taking the rest of the month off. Hopefully. We'll see.
I feel that.
That's how it starts. I was a traveling actor for 10 years, and then like I took 1 week off, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore.
I've taken like a 2-year hiatus, so this will be first time back. So I was like, we'll do one. If I do the whole month, I will want to die. So we're going to do a weekend.
Well, that's the thing is like people don't understand because, you always hear, people talk to you and they're like, oh, I want to be a travel actor. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's grueling.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I loved it. I loved every second of it. Don't get me wrong, but it is hard.
It is hard. Yeah. And it's long days and far from home. Like I said, I live in Nebraska. So from here to Greensboro is like 16 hours, give or take. So I have to start like Wednesday. I have to travel Wednesday to get there by Friday. And then, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, do the trek back. So.
Well, tell us your plans when it's time for haunt season. You're going to get hit on the road. How do you stay energetic? How do you stay healthy? That's a big one. People don't understand. How do you stay healthy and how do you just keep the show going throughout the season?
So I used to drink energy drinks. Not anymore. I'm too old can't do energy drinks anymore. Water, so much water, and liquid IV. I have found liquid IV lately and it's been fantastic. And that goes hand in hand with the staying healthy also. Sleep. Please sleep. Don't let the other haunters lie to you. You need to sleep. We don't do after parties. We go home.
See, Steve, I told
Oh,
you.
okay.
I
So,
like
but here's the thing. In my 20s, I was organizing the after parties everywhere I went. And we were having after parties till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes like even, up in Chicago, we would have these parties till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then have to do a morning radio show about the haunt. And it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I was in my 20s. And when I got into my 30s, all the 20-year-olds were like, hey, let's go party. And I was like, hey, I want to go take a nap.
Yeah.
He says this, but every time we get to Fear Expo, he's like, oh, are you all staying? I'm like, no, I'm going to the room. I'm napping. What do you mean you're not partying with us? I'm like, I'm sleeping tonight.
Trade shows and conventions are different.
No, you're not. Sure they are.
Except you're not haunting.
That's part of my job. That's part of my job. It is part of my, I promise you, it is a part of my job to throw these parties and these events and keep everybody happy and drunk and having a good time.
I get to help with that next year, so I'll have to be staying awake. So
yeah, I mean,
I'll be back in my room. You all have fun.
Yeah, we had David Quinn and I threw that after party on Friday night, and that we shut that down at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
No.
And I was back on the floor by 7. David was there at 9.
So you got out of the party, showered, and got dressed, and came back out.
No, I slept a little bit too. I got like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's enough.
And then I still had all day Saturday. Had to do the show floor. I had to do all the events. I all that stuff. Yeah, it's 1 weekend out of the year or whatever.
I'm good.
Nobody else is complaining but you, Tayen.
How is it that the 17-year-old refuses to go out and party, but you're like, oh yeah, I was up all night, got 45 minutes of sleep?
Yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'm just saying that's what.
He's just saying that's the functionality.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's Saturday night's the important night because I usually leave like late Sunday, like Sunday evening. I'll leave. So that Saturday night, I try really hard to get a good night's sleep. I come into work late on Sunday on purpose. Just try to get things happen. Anyway,
I have a question on here.
Go ahead.
So Diana said, what is your favorite costume?
Oh, well, probably the one I'm wearing right now, but I'm not going to stand up because I'm sitting cross-legged on my bed right now. It's like a flowy, like witch top, and then I have a PVC leather skirt, fishnets, and socks. Obviously, undergarments also, but
We don't have to get that in detail.
That's probably my favorite one right now. I've kind of went through a lot of different phases. I used to wear a pink mechanics jumpsuit, which is too hot. It's too hot. We need more airflow. That's but that's probably my favorite costume right now.
How many variations of Mischief are there?
Too many. Again, I have ADHD, so I do my makeup similar to this every time, but depending on the day, I'll change colors or I'll add a couple of things. But I have this makeup down in about 20 minutes now, so I don't change too much, but I do change the colors, and I add some X's sometimes because I get bored. I need it to be a little different. But yeah, there's different faces, but mainly the same outfits. I stick more towards like a gothy kind of a feel.
So I have a question, me personally. Haunting in Nebraska, weather-wise, what is that like? Because I know Florida is humid and hot, so it gets rained on a lot, but I figure it's way different there.
The first part of the season doesn't feel good at all. It's very hot. And then by end of October, it could be snowing. It just depends on the kind of the year, but yeah, by the end of October, it's pretty cold. You're wanting to bundle up underneath, for sure.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know if I want hot or cold for haunting.
There's really no nice.
Indoor haunts are okay.
Yes.
Now, I know when I had Phoenix and I was traveling around as Phoenix, and I had a few different variations. I didn't have a lot of variations, but I had a few. But so his thing was like the vest, right? That was kind of like his thing. When I would have a different vest on, the character would kind of change slightly from like a goofy character to like a mean character to an aggressive character. Do you have anything like that going on?
I used to wear a battle vest. I don't anymore. But I always say that my demeanor is usually the same. Mischief is like a Sour Patch Kid. So sometimes she's really nice and sometimes she's not very nice. Kind of aggressive in your face. We'll joke. We'll try to steal your girlfriend because why not? It just depends on the day. But yeah, she's very, very hot and cold, very like sweet and sour. You never know what you're going to get. That's kind of who she is.
That's fair.
Now, as a travel actor, you get to see a lot of different things and places and people and characters. And I know I was always in awe by this, right? I would see people and I'd see other actors that would like just put me to shame. I was just like, man, I'm terrible at my job. Like, what am I even doing? Do you have a favorite place or a favorite story or anything like that?
My favorite place is Woods of Terror. I've been there quite a few times, and only because, first of all, it's huge. There's lots of things to do. But the weather's not terrible in North Carolina. It's really not bad at all. Not in October anyway. But my favorite story from there, I don't know if you've been there, Steve or Tayen, but
They've bought from us before, but I've never been there.
their midway is very open. It's a very open midway. So the way they do ticketing is you get like a name of a film on your ticket and you don't get in line until they call that. So you're just kind of wandering around until your movie title is called. So people are just out in the open with their backs to you at all times. It's fantastic. I came running out from behind a porta potty. I don't even know why I was back there. I was standing back there. I came running and I slammed my hands on a fence to this guy that had his back to me. He turned around and we were face to face and he screamed and then pooped his pants.
That's always good.
We had to look at each other because I felt terrible. I was like, I really can't add insult to injury. I feel like that's wrong.
Full blown pooper.
Oh yeah. I was like,
Was he a bigger guy? Or like, would you have guessed he was going to do this? Or
no, not at all. He wasn't going to be fazed by me at all. So I was like,
whatever. Yeah.
as long as I'm entertaining you, whether that's laughing or scaring, then I'm doing my job. So I was like, this one will be a fun one. I'll just have to pull out the comedy routine. It'll be fine. Yeah, no, he was very scared. And he hadn't gone through the house yet. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. So we ended up leaving and coming back and shook my hand. I was like, well, I'm glad you don't hate me.
So do you have a pre-show ritual or anything like that?
Not really. I listened to Melanie Martinez. I don't know if you listened to her at all.
I
Very creepy.
Portal's album yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. So I listen to her while I get ready. Her and Rob Zombie. That kind of, get into the headspace. And then I always eat a Pop-Tart. I don't know why. But I do. That's not healthy, so don't take my advice. But I eat a Pop-Tart because I don't drink energy drinks anymore. And then I drink water and then face and then go.
Now, if somebody out there listening is looking to book you, how would they go about that?
They can find me on Facebook or Mischief the Clown booking at gmail.com.
And what do they do? Just ask?
Yep. Price obviously varies by like where you're at. Nebraska is kind of nice in the like I can get to any coast in less than 24 hours. So that part's really nice. So I mean, I'm not going to be traveling more than 2 days.
Now, you did say that you have the 1 weekend book and you plan on taking the month off. Are you just saying that?
If someone
actually planning on it?
If someone asks me, I'll think about it. I'll entertain the idea.
So you're gonna go.
I'll probably go. Yes. I like haunting way too much. I love haunting way too much.
I totally understand that. Yep, go ahead.
Diana asked, what is your favorite place to buy your outfits?
Oh gosh. Killstar mostly is probably 90 or 80% of where I buy things from. It's not cheap, but they do last a while. So the skirt I'm wearing is probably like 4 years old and still rocking. So I do Killstar. I do a lot of Shein because it's cheap.
That's fair.
Like fishnets specifically. I'm not going to Walmart to spend $10 on one pair of tights that I'm going to probably rip when I slide on the dirt. So
that's fair.
Now, where can we find you on the interwebs? And if you have any shows, conventions, anywhere, anybody that if they want to meet you, where are you going to be?
For the rest of the year, next month I'll be in Denver at Villain Arts Tattoo Conventions. They're one of my sponsors, so I kind of hop around with them. They have one in pretty much every state. We don't go to all of those, obviously, but Denver and Orlando, and I think Dallas. Don't quote me on that. You should go to my page on Facebook, and that has my full tour of where I'm going. And then we'll also be at Georgia Pop and Horror Convention in August. It's going to be very hot. I'm not jazzed about how hot it's going to be, but we'll survive somehow. And then Woods of Terror, North Carolina. And then I can't think of any other ones in my brain. So
you have a date for Woods of Terror? Because we're thinking about
it's like the first. Let me just pull up my calendar on my computer here. October 6th, 7th, and 8th. So the first weekend. Yep.
Nice. That's like the perfect time to go too.
Yeah.
That's like not too hot, not too cold. They're really starting to ramp up into the season. Yep. Those were always my favorite weekends.
Yes. That's why I was like, he asked me which date I wanted, and I said the first weekend of October because it won't be hot.
Yeah, I always try to, when I was doing it, try to stay east in the beginning parts of the season and work my way west to the later parts. And sometimes I got lucky, sometimes I didn't. Yeah. And then the worst was doing like the first year MHC was in Chicago, and I worked Hell's Gate, and it was like 90 degrees that day. Oh, and I'm a fire performer, so I'm like, oh God, that was so bad. I mean, one time I was at Doug's place up in Michigan, and it was a warm day, and I might have accidentally lit his entire parking lot on fire. Oh my God. That was a whole thing. He didn't even come out of his office for that. He was just like, eh.
He was like, no.
She's like, she's out there. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
He'll call.
Yeah. It was fine.
No call.
Everything was fine. Yeah. I got hit by a Suburban at his place too. Somebody hit a Suburban. Yeah.
Jeez. You're not giving Doug a good rip, right?
No, I mean, no, it wasn't his fault. I mean, that's just what happened. I mean,
you got in the way.
Yeah, I mean, just is what it is.
Were you jumping on people's cars?
No.
It didn't sound like you were.
I was sliding in the parking lot.
Okay, that would explain.
Yeah, and I got hit by a Suburban. It was fun. It was a good time. Anyway.
Was it a fast Suburban or a slow Suburban?
And where was the be?
I don't know. I don't remember. I actually, if I remember correctly, I believe I slid into it. I hit the side of it as it was driving. So I might have hit the Suburban. It might not have hit me.
You don't even remember.
He doesn't have brain damage at all.
No.
Yeah.
I was car and everything went black.
And the doctor said I had a slight case of severe brain damage. So,
haunting, I feel like, goes hand in hand with that sometimes.
Yeah, what are you going to do? It was fun. Everybody was laughing.
Injured to be haunting.
You're not going hard enough until you hurt yourself on accident.
All right. Mischief, you got anything else for us? Anything that we need to know?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Or us having you, or whatever.
However that works. Yeah,
I am so tired. And you'll be at Fear Expo this year. So if you guys want, all you guys that are out there listening that are going to Fear Expo, Mischief will be there.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and can't wait to see you down at Fear Expo.
We'll see you soon.
Awesome. She's cool. I like her.
I like her too. She's pretty cool.
So what's next? Oh, hashtag Project Backfire. Have you ever heard of them, Tayen?
Huh?
Have you ever heard of them? Project Backfire?
No, I haven't. Cool.
I heard they're pretty cool, and they're sponsoring the show tonight. So
That's crazy.
thank you, Tayen, and thank you, Project Backfire. If you guys are looking to win a tattoo gun or a dentist drill, completely customizable by Tayen, go ahead and put your hashtags in for hashtag Project Backfire for your chance to win. All right,